Harper Parker had never been the type to crash parties, but tonight she was making an exception. Her best friend Olivia had texted her in a panic, begging her to come to a holiday party where she knew practically no one. "Please," the text had read, "I can't face these fancy people alone. The host is some super rich guy Mia knows. Just come for an hour." That's how Harper found herself standing outside the most spectacular mansion she had ever seen, clutching a bottle of moderately priced wine and wondering if the security guards would even let her through the front gate. The estate was breathtaking, a sprawling property nestled in the hills overlooking the city, decorated with thousands of twinkling lights for the holiday season. Snow dusted the perfectly manicured gardens, and through the massive windows, Harper could see a crowd of elegantly dressed guests mingling inside. She suddenly felt wildly underdressed in her simple red dress and ankle boots. "Name?" asked the suited man at the entrance, tablet in hand. "Harper Parker," she replied, trying to sound confident. "I'm Olivia Chen's +1. The man scrolled through his list, his expression unchanging. "Miss Chen is already inside with her +1. Harper's stomach dropped. "That's impossible, I'm her +1. "I'm sorry, but I can't let you in without, is there a problem here?" A deep voice interrupted from behind them. Harper turned to find herself face to face with the most handsome man she'd ever seen. Tall with dark hair slightly tousled, sharp features, and piercing blue eyes that seemed to see right through her. He wore an impeccably tailored suit that screamed money, but there was something approachable about his smile. "Mr. Farrow," the security guard straightened immediately. "This woman claims to be Olivia Chen's +1, but Miss Chen already has a guest." The man, Mr. Farrow, looked at Harper with an amused expression. "And you are Harper Parker," she said, extending her hand. "And I swear I'm not trying to crash your party. Olivia texted me an hour ago begging me to come." He studied her for a moment before his face broke into a smile. "Well, Harper Parker, any friend of Olivia's is welcome here. I'm Isaac Farrow." As they shook hands, Harper felt an unexpected jolt of electricity between them. The name suddenly clicked. Isaac Farrow, the tech billionaire who had revolutionized clean energy technology, the mysterious bachelor who rarely made public appearances. The man whose house she was attempting to sneak into. "Thank you," she said, trying to hide her shock. "I brought wine." She held up the bottle of Cabernet that now seemed embarrassingly inadequate. Isaac took the bottle, examining the label with interest. "A 2016 Napa Valley Cabernet. Excellent choice. I'm partial to smaller vineyards myself. Come in, let's find your friend." The interior of the mansion was even more spectacular than Harper had imagined. Vaulted ceilings, artwork that belonged in museums, and holiday decorations that must have cost more than her yearly salary. A massive Christmas tree stood in the center of the main living area, adorned with ornaments that looked antique and probably cost a fortune. "So," Isaac said as they moved through the crowd, "how do you know Olivia, college roommates? We've been friends for 7 years now. How do you know her?" "I don't actually," he admitted with a smile. "My friend Mia works with her. I'm not even sure which one Olivia is." Harper laughed. "The host doesn't know his own guests. When you have a house this size, people expect you to throw parties," he shrugged. "I let Mia handle the guest list. I'm not really a party person." "That makes 2 of us," Harper said. "I'd rather be home with a good book." Isaac's eyes lit up. "What are you reading right now?" Before Harper could answer, a high-pitched voice called out, "Harper, you made it." Olivia rushed toward them, elegant in a black cocktail dress with a tall man following close behind. "I see you've met our gracious host," Olivia said, looking between Harper and Isaac with undisguised interest. "I have," Harper said, "though I almost didn't get in." "The guard said you already had a +1. Olivia's eyes widened. "Oh, I completely forgot I put down Brian's name last week before we broke up. Then I met David here," she gestured to the man beside her, "and brought him instead. I'm so sorry." "No harm done," Isaac said, his eyes still on Harper. "I'm glad Miss Parker made it in despite the confusion." I should let you get back to your hosting duties, Harper said, suddenly feeling awkward under his intense gaze. Actually, Isaac said, I was just about to get a drink. Would you like to join me? I'd love to hear about that book. Before Harper could respond, Olivia gave her a gentle push. She'd love to. I'll catch up with you later, Harp. As Olivia disappeared into the crowd with David, Harper found herself alone with one of the richest men in the country, unsure of what to say next. Your friend is subtle, Isaac said with a laugh. About as subtle as a freight train, Harper agreed. I'm sorry about that. Don't be. I'm enjoying the company of someone who didn't come here to network or take selfies in my house. He guided her toward a less crowded area of the house, a beautiful library with floor-to-ceiling bookshelves. This is my favorite room. Most guests don't make it in here. Harper gasped at the collection. This is incredible. She ran her fingers along the spines of leather-bound classics. You actually read these. They're not just for show, every single one, he confirmed. Books have always been my escape. Even when I was building my company from nothing, I made time to read. So the billionaire tech genius is also a bookworm, Harper said. That's not in your Wikipedia page. Isaac laughed, a genuine sound that made his eyes crinkle at the corners. There's a lot that isn't in my Wikipedia page. What about you, Harper Parker? What do you do when you're not crashing holiday parties? I teach 3rd grade, she said. Not quite as glamorous as running a tech empire. I'd argue it's far more important, Isaac said, his voice serious. My first real mentor was my 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Winters. She believed in me when nobody else did. For the next hour, they talked about books, education, and their favorite places in the city. Harper was surprised by how easy it was to talk to him, how he listened intently to everything she said as if her opinions on children's literature were as important as multi-million-dollar business deals. I should probably find Olivia, Harper said eventually, realizing they had been talking for far longer than she'd intended. Of course, Isaac said, looking disappointed. But before you go, would you consider having dinner with me sometime? I'd love to continue our conversation about that educational initiative you mentioned. Harper hesitated. Was he asking her out, or was this a professional interest? Either way, the thought of spending more time with him made her heart race. I'd like that. Great, he smiled, pulling out his phone. Can I get your number? As Harper recited her number, she caught a glimpse of Olivia across the room, giving her an enthusiastic thumbs up. Her cheeks burned with embarrassment. Your friend approves, Isaac noted, following her gaze. She's been trying to set me up since my breakup 6 months ago, Harper admitted. She'll be insufferable now. 6 months, huh? What happened, if you don't mind me asking? Harper shrugged. The usual. He wanted to focus on his career, which apparently meant he didn't have time for a relationship. 2 weeks later, he was dating a model. His loss, Isaac said sincerely, though I can't say I'm sorry things worked out that way. Their eyes met, and Harper felt something shift between them, a spark of possibility that both thrilled and terrified her. The moment was interrupted by Mia, who needed Isaac for an urgent matter involving a prominent guest. Before he left, he leaned close to Harper's ear. I'll call you tomorrow. Don't leave without saying goodbye. After Isaac walked away, Olivia appeared at Harper's side, practically vibrating with excitement. Spill everything now, she demanded. There's nothing to spill, Harper protested. We talked about books. Books, that's it. The most eligible bachelor in the city spends an hour alone with you and you discuss literature? What did you expect? That we'd declare our undying love after one conversation? No, but… Olivia trailed off. He likes you. I could see it from across the room. The way he looked at you, I've never seen Isaac Farrow look at anyone that way. You don't even know him, Harper pointed out. No, but Mia does, and she says he never gives anyone this much attention at parties. He usually makes a brief appearance and disappears into his office. Harper tried to suppress the flutter of excitement in her chest. He asked me to dinner to discuss an educational initiative. Olivia snorted. Right, an educational initiative, is that what the kids are calling it these days? Stop it, Harper laughed, swatting her friend's arm. It's probably nothing. But it wasn't nothing. The next day, true to his word, Isaac called. Their dinner to discuss the educational initiative turned into a 3-hour conversation that had nothing to do with work. He asked her out again 2 days later and again the following week. By their 4th date, Harper found herself falling for the man behind the billions. Isaac was brilliant but humble, driven but kind. He spoke passionately about making education accessible to underprivileged children and listened with genuine interest when she talked about her students. "I have something to show you," Isaac said one evening as they finished dinner at a small Italian restaurant his choice, away from prying eyes and paparazzi. He drove them to a construction site downtown, empty at this hour except for the security guard who nodded at Isaac as they entered. Inside the half-finished building, Isaac led Harper to what would eventually be a large open space. "This is going to be a community center," he explained, his voice echoing in the empty room. "Free after-school programs, adult education classes, a library, everything we've been talking about." Harper stared at him in disbelief. "You're building this? Since when?" "Since our 2nd date," he admitted. "You were so passionate about what your kids needed, I couldn't stop thinking about it. The Farrow Foundation has been looking for our next major project, and this felt right." "Isaac," Harper whispered, overwhelmed by the gesture. "This is incredible." "There's more," he said, suddenly looking nervous. "I'd like you to help design the educational programs, not as a volunteer, as the director. Full salary, benefits, complete creative control." Harper took a step back, her excitement fading. "Is that why you've been seeing me? To recruit me for this project?" Isaac's face fell. "No, of course not. I've been seeing you because I haven't been able to stop thinking about you since the moment you tried to crash my party. But now you're offering me a job." "I'm offering you a job because you're brilliant at what you do. My feelings for you are completely separate, are they? Because from where I'm standing, it seems like you're trying to buy my affection with a fancy job offer." "That's not fair," Isaac said, hurt evident in his voice. "I would never do that." "Maybe not intentionally," Harper said, more gently. "But you're used to being able to solve problems with money. I'm not a problem that needs solving, Isaac." "I know that," he insisted. "This isn't about money. This is about creating something meaningful together. But if you're not interested—" "It's not that I'm not interested," Harper interrupted. "It's that I need to know where the line is between your personal interest in me and your professional interest in my ideas." Isaac ran a hand through his hair, frustrated. "There is no line, Harper. I'm interested in all of you, your mind, your passion, your heart. Is that so hard to believe for a regular guy? No. For a billionaire who could have anyone? Yes." They stared at each other in tense silence before Isaac finally spoke. "You're right. I'm not used to people questioning my motives. Everyone usually just says yes and takes what I'm offering. It's refreshing that you don't." Harper softened. "I didn't mean to sound ungrateful. The center is an amazing idea and I would love to be involved. But maybe we should take a step back from us until we figure out the professional side." Isaac looked devastated but nodded. "If that's what you want." The drive back to Harper's apartment was silent, neither knowing how to bridge the sudden gap between them. When he pulled up to her building, Isaac turned to her. "For what it's worth, I've never felt this way about anyone before. Money has nothing to do with it." Harper looked at him, really looked at him, and saw not the billionaire, but the man who laughed at her terrible jokes and remembered how she took her coffee and listened to her ramble about children's books with genuine interest. "I believe you," she said finally. "I just need some time." The weeks that followed were a struggle for Harper. She threw herself into her teaching, but thoughts of Isaac were never far from her mind. He respected her request for space, sending only occasional texts to check in. The community center project moved forward without her direct involvement, though Isaac made it clear the director position was still hers if she wanted it. As Christmas approached, Olivia confronted Harper during their traditional holiday cookie baking session. "You're miserable," she stated, cutting gingerbread shapes with perhaps more force than necessary. "And according to Mia, so is Isaac. It's complicated, Harper sighed, dusting flour from her hands. It's really not, Olivia countered. He offered you a dream job because he believes in you, and you accused him of trying to buy you. That's not what happened, Harper protested, though part of her new Olivia wasn't entirely wrong, isn't it? You've spent so many years being independent that you can't recognize genuine support when it's offered. Not every man is like Ryan, waiting to drop you the moment something better comes along. Harper was silent, absorbing her friend's words. Just talk to him, Olivia pleaded. He's hosting another holiday party this weekend. Smaller, just close friends. Mia said I could bring you. I don't think crashing another one of his parties is the answer, Olivia rolled her eyes. It's not crashing if you're invited, besides it worked out pretty well the first time. That Saturday, Harper found herself once again approaching Isaac's mansion, this time with a properly addressed invitation in hand. The decorations were even more spectacular than before, but the crowd was indeed smaller, maybe 30 people at most. She spotted Isaac immediately, laughing with an older couple near the fireplace. He looked good, devastatingly good, in a dark green sweater that made his eyes seem even bluer. When he turned and saw her, his whole face transformed with joy. You came, he said simply when he reached her. Olivia can be very persuasive, Harper smiled nervously, and I wanted to see you. I've missed you, he admitted, his voice low. I've missed you too, can we talk? Somewhere private, Isaac led her to the library again, closing the door behind them. The room was exactly as she remembered, warm and filled with books, a fire crackling in the hearth. I owe you an apology, Harper began. You don't, please, let me finish, she insisted. I overreacted about the job offer. The truth is, I've been burned before by people who only wanted what they could get from me. I projected that onto you and it wasn't fair. Isaac stepped closer. I understand why you were cautious. My life is complicated. People have ulterior motives around me all the time. It's why I value honesty so much. I want to be honest now, Harper said, taking a deep breath. I've fallen in love with you, Isaac. Not your money, not your influence, just you. The man who gets excited about first editions and quotes poetry and cares so deeply about making the world better. Isaac's face broke into the most beautiful smile Harper had ever seen. In 2 quick steps, he was in front of her, cupping her face in his hands. I love you too, he whispered. More than I thought possible. These weeks without you have been torture. When his lips finally met hers, Harper felt like she was coming home. The kiss was gentle at first, then grew more passionate as months of tension dissolved between them. About the job, Isaac said when they finally broke apart. I still want you to consider it, but not because of us. Because you're the best person for it. I'll think about it, Harper promised. But right now, I just want to focus on us. I can work with that, he murmured, pulling her close again. They rejoined the party hand in hand, ignoring the knowing smiles from Olivia and Mia. As midnight approached, Isaac clinked a glass for attention. Thank you all for coming tonight, he began. As most of you know, I'm not one for speeches or grand gestures, but this year has brought unexpected joy into my life. He looked at Harper, his eyes full of love. Sometimes the best gifts come in the most unexpected ways, like when someone crashes your holiday party and changes your life forever. Laughter rippled through the room as Harper blushed. To new beginnings, Isaac raised his glass, and to finding love when you least expect it. As the new year unfolded, Harper and Isaac's relationship deepened. She did eventually accept the community center director position, but only after establishing clear boundaries between their personal and professional lives. The center opened the following fall to great acclaim, becoming a model for similar programs across the country. 14 months after that fateful party crash, Isaac proposed during a quiet evening in his library. He had recreated their first meeting, complete with the same wine she had brought as an offering that night. You changed everything for me, he told her as he knelt before her, a simple but stunning diamond ring in his hand. I was just going through the motions before you walked into my life. Will you marry me, Harper Parker? Yes, she answered without hesitation. 1,000 times yes. They married the following spring in a ceremony that balanced Isaac's wealth with Harper's preference for simplicity, an elegant garden wedding with their closest friends and family. Olivia, of course, took full credit for their happiness in her maid of honor speech. If I hadn't begged Harper to come to that party, if she hadn't been just stubborn enough to argue her way past security, if Isaac hadn't been charmed by her determination, none of this would have happened. Sometimes the best love stories start with a little rule breaking. 2 years later, Harper sat in the library of their home, no longer just Isaac's mansion, but truly their shared space, now watching her husband read to their infant daughter, Emma. The community center was thriving under Harper's leadership, and Isaac had scaled back his company responsibilities to focus on their family and foundation work. You ever think about how different our lives would be if I hadn't crashed your party? Harper asked, smiling as Emma cooed at the colorful book pages. I try not to, Isaac said, looking up at his wife with the same adoration he'd shown since the beginning. The thought of not having you and Emma in my life is too painful to consider. Luckily, you'll never have to find out, Harper said, moving to sit beside them. I'm not going anywhere. Good, Isaac grinned, leaning over to kiss her softly, because you're stuck with this billionaire bookworm for life. I can think of worse fates, Harper laughed, resting her head on his shoulder as they continued reading to their daughter, their unexpected love story still unfolding with each passing day. In the years that followed, Harper and Isaac expanded their family with another child, a boy they named Leo, who inherited his father's passion for technology and his mother's compassion. The Farrow Foundation became one of the largest educational philanthropic organizations in the country, with Harper playing a crucial role in its direction. There were challenges, of course, the scrutiny that came with Isaac's wealth and status, the balance between work and family, the inevitable disagreements that all couples face. But through it all, they remained anchored by the connection they had formed that December night when Harper had shown up uninvited and found so much more than a party. And every holiday season, they hosted a special party, inviting not only their friends but also the teachers and students from the community center. At each celebration, Isaac would raise a glass to party crashers and the love stories they create, making Harper blush and their guests smile. It was, they both agreed, the best kind of tradition, one born from chance, nurtured by understanding, and sustained by love that neither of them had been looking for, but both had been ready to embrace when it unexpectedly arrived.